Hey everybody, it's Justin with Epic Game Time, and I'm here bringing you another deck tag. This one is for standard blue-white control. I know that there's a lot of blue-white control fans out there, and for me personally, this is probably my favorite version of the deck. It is built around a couple of the blue-white control decks that have been 5-0ing recently in the MTGO 5-bans. So I've put together one that's been working for me. Of course, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it in the comments, but let's go ahead and go over this deck right now. We have Gear Reach Sanatorium. We have one of those. Of course, we're playing a control deck. We want to be drawing cards when we're not doing anything else. Gear Reach works for that, and we really only want one. We have our 4 irrigated farmlands, our 4 port towns, our 4 prairie streams. This is just all the blue-white color fixing we need. Then we have some islands and plains. We're running 25 lands. That's enough lands to make sure we're hitting a land drop every turn, because if you're playing control, you really want to be doing that. I know 25 lands for you newer players may sound like a lot, but trust me, it's not. You really do want these 25 lands, and I would not go any lower. Okay, then we have our spells, our control. So we have Blessed Alliance and Immolating Glare. We have 2 of each. Blessed Alliance gains you life, makes your opponent sack an attacking creature. Those are really the only modes we'll use. Untap up to 2 target creatures, and then we'll never really use that. So, Immolating Glare, of course, instant destroy target attacking creature. There's a lot of aggro decks in this format, so being able to just pop off an attacking creature is really great. Then we have 4 Censors. It cycles, it counters, it's just a wonderful spell. We have 2 Essence Scatters, 2 Negates, 4 Supreme Wills, and 1 Disallow. And that is really our permission package. So we have a lot of counter, and that is what this deck does. You're going to be doing a lot of draw going. Supreme Will, I was kind of off this card at first, but man, it's really proved to be pretty strong. Of course, to look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 in your hand, the rest at the bottom. So it's like a decent mana leak plus anticipate, so definitely not bad. Of course, we're running 1 Kefnet the Mindful, just a great beater. If you can get this out on turn 3 without being punished, and then play your draw go game and really get out ahead, this thing will take over a game. We have 2 Cast Out. That's just to deal with really annoying permanents. Then we have 4 Hieroglyphic Eliminations. Really, you're going to use its cycle a lot more than you're going to use its draw 2. But on turn 4, if you don't have a play at the end of the turn, draw 2 cards. I'm going with these instead of Glimmer of Genius because I like the idea that sometimes around turns 4 and 5, I'm not going to have the ability to hold up 4. Maybe I'll only be holding up 1. And being able to cycle is really important. So I go with these instead of Glimmer. Then, of course, we have Fumigate, 2 Fumigates, and 1 Descent Upon the Sinful. This is just a board wipe in case the board starts getting out of our control. 3 Torrential Gearhulks. They're not bad. They've kind of gone down in price, so it's definitely worth your time getting them now. And, of course, giant Snapcaster Mages. They're a little overcosted for what Snapcaster is, but still, one of the best cards in Standard. You're going to get your Hieroglyphic Elimination back, your Disallows, your counters. It's just a great spell. Then we have 3 Pull from Tomorrows. Let's go over here. This is just to fill our hand back up. Pull from Tomorrow is awesome. It makes sure we have a full hand, which we want. And then, of course, our win condition is Approach of the Second Sun. We're going to run 2 of those. And that is just get Approach out, play. So, Approach of the Second Sun works really well because we draw go anyways. Our whole plan is to have a bunch of cards in our hands and just react to what our opponent is playing, grinding them down until they're out of resources. We're going to use Pull from the Morrow, Hieroglyphic Elimination, all of our cycling spells to constantly be refilling our resources while we're grinding our opponent out of theirs, eventually getting to the point where we can just cast Approach of the Second Sun, hold off, cast it again, win. Now, let's go ahead and go for our sideboard. Of course, we're running 2 Sphinx of the Final Word. There is a lot of different control decks out there, and Sphinx of the Final Word puts the hammer down on them. Believe that. Sphinx is great. Then we have 2 Dispels, because other counter decks. Now, here's some of the fun things. Against the new red deck, Random Up Red, Comeback Red, whatever you want to call it, Authority of the Consuls is awesome against them. I've had 2 of these out, and it has just been a hosing. So, Authority of the Consuls is great. Declaration of Stone, against those random token decks you'll come into. Angel Sanctions, really, really good spell card against zombies. It's a great card against any of those aggro decks, and that's really what the rest of these are. Like Regal Caracol, Lin Navala. All these cards are super good against the different aggro decks, and you'll put them in just based on what's going on in the match. So, this is Mono Blue Control. Now, if your LGS has a bunch of different control decks, a bunch of mid-range decks, this is the deck for you. Do be warned that if you're your Friday Night Magic is just full of random bread, it's just full of different kinds of little zombies and aggro decks, maybe you want to add a couple more Fumigates, maybe a little less of the Supreme Wills, or maybe not so many Negates. So adjust and tweak to what's happening at your store. Well, I hope you all like this. If you liked the video, of course, share it, subscribe, like it, comment down below with what's going on in your LGS and how you've played with the deck, and if you have any different takes on the blue-white control archetype and standard. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Justin from Epic Game Time. You all have been my epic viewers. I hope you all do something epic today.